It is a given in life that you never know what you are unless it's in relation to something else. If it weren't for fat people, you would never know, your relative body size. If it weren't for really tall people, you would have nothing to compare your height against. And if it weren't for really crazy people, you would have no way of knowing that you're actually pretty much on the glide slope and are halfway sane. I bring this up because something absolutely horrifying happened yesterday, besides Elise Monet Jaco setting her traps for the possum in the backyard made out of shoeboxes and sticks, but more on that in a moment. What happened is this fringe lunatic preaching a gospel that there is no way Barack Hussein Obama can legally be the president of the United States because his birth certificate was forged, because, what else? Both of his parents were born in the United States, because he just beamed down from the planet Vulcan before it was destroyed. I don't know. But you figure whack-a-moles like this, have their place in American political discourse because they give the rest of us someone to laugh at. Well, nobody's laughing when some powerful members of the Missouri General Assembly, committee chairs no less, show up at these lunatic events and give them their endorsement. You must be joking. The man who broke this story and has covered it, it's in the Political Fix blog at stltoday.com, is Tony Messenger. Tony is a reporter and columnist for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch and stltoday.com. He covers state politics based in the state capital, Jefferson City, and he has been all over this story. Tony, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Charles. Anytime. How you doing?
Pretty well. So tell me about this event yesterday. What was it, and who was there?
There is a woman named Orly Tates who is out of California. She's a dentist and I believe an attorney, and she is one of the main forces behind this conspiracy theory that Barack Obama should not be the president because he never showed what Orly Tates and other people believe is a valid birth certificate. And so she came to Missouri this week, went to St. Charles yesterday and Jefferson City to espouse her views, try to get people to back her, to give her money. And what was interesting about it, the reason it's newsworthy, because the birth certificate stuff has been debunked by a variety of nonpartisan sources, but the reason it's interesting is you have Missouri Republican state lawmakers buying into this and going to the event. I went to the Jeff City event, and State Rep Ed Emery from Lamar was there. In St. Charles, State Rep Cynthia Davis was there. She's been getting a lot of national press lately.
Ain't that the truth?
Also a representative from State Senator Jim Lemke's office was there.
Now, Davis, what was the name of the other representative?
Ed Emery and Cynthia Davis were the only two reps who were there.
Right.
Senator Jim Lemke sent a staff member.
Yeah, where's Lamar at?
Lamar is down in southwest Missouri.
Okay, so
from Jones.
Now, are any of these three hold positions of power and influence within the state legislature, major committee chairman?
Interesting. Both. It depends on your perspective. Some insiders would say no, they don't. But the reality is, Ed Emery chairs the Utility Committee, very powerful committee in the State House. Cynthia Davis chairs the Children and Families Committee. Both of them had major pieces of legislation this year that dominated debate. Cynthia Davis had the abortion coercion bill, and Ed Emery had the utility bill that eventually died, the Ameren-UE nuclear plant bill. So while some might say, oh, these are part of the fringe, the fact is, within the State House, they're pretty important lawmakers.
Okay, here's what I'm trying to figure out, and this is why it caught my attention. This birth certificate thing, these so-called birthers, way out on the political fringe, as you said, this whole nonsense has been debunked repeatedly. It's the kind of stuff you would expect your toothless Uncle Ralph, who lives in a trailer at the end of a dirt road someplace, might believe in. But not only to find elected Missouri senators and representatives either showing up or sending staff people, but people who are actually in positions of significant power in Jefferson City, showing up and buying into this nonsense. I find, as a voter, as a journalist, I find it fascinating. As a voter, I find it absolutely breathtaking and somewhat appalling.
Well, you know, and the interesting thing, listen, I had never been to one of these presentations before, and a couple interesting things about it. The woman's actually from the Soviet Union, the former Soviet Union. That's where she was born. So there's a certain irony in her calling out Barack Obama's alleged citizenship. But it's not even about the birth certificate anymore. Her argument is, even if the birth certificate that he's already shown everybody is legitimate, she says he still can't be president because she believes that there is some definition of natural-born American that says both of your parents had to have been citizens when you were born, and since his father was Kenyan, she says that disqualifies him. And then she goes on further with a wide variety of conspiracy theories. She says that he has 20-some Social Security numbers, and I mean, it's just
okay.
It's amazing the amount of different things that she says.
Okay.
And here's where it gets. You know, this is why it's newsworthy. It's easy to say, okay, that's the fringe, and we can ignore that. I posted a blog post on Political Fix about it last night, 215 comments already, more than I think I've gotten on anything else. And so maybe these people are all the fringe. Maybe it's just 10 people talking back and forth. But you have her using language like King Obama and Messiah, and that's the same kind of language that mainstream opponents of the president are using. And that's what I find interesting, is this melding between what's going on in the fringe and how some people in the mainstream are saying, let's keep an arm's length from those people, but we might need their money and we might need their votes, so let's use some of their same language also.
Look, here's what I find appalling. This woman from the Soviet Union or the planet Lovetron or wherever she beamed up with these bizarre theories is one thing. But when you get a lot of this stuff, and, you know, I don't think the Department of Homeland Security was too far off that there may be 2 or 3 degrees of separation between the birther movement and a lot of these more dangerous idiots running around, that all that stuff could be compartmentalized. You could shrug your shoulders and say, but you've got people representing, it turns out, one party, the Republican Party of the state of Missouri, showing up and buying into this stuff. Wow, I mean, one wonders if all of their constituents or the constituents who elect them believe this stuff, or if the constituents who elect them would be appalled that they are putting their stature behind something this loony.
I think a lot of the constituents are probably appalled. I think the problem is that